Hello, I'm Horceror. I want to find out what makes every single killer tick. There's one big glaring issue with that though. I play the Nemesis, essentially only the Nemesis. I physically cannot get thousands of hours of experience on every single character. So, I'm going to be interviewing people that do have those thousands of hours. One for every single killer. Welcome to Stars of the Fog. Alright, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Stars of the Fog. Today's killer is the Ghoul, Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul, the first big anime killer collab of an actual killer rather than just cosmetics like Attack on Titan a little bit ago. Kaneki is, for better or for worse, a killer where pretty much everyone has an opinion on. My guest here today, bnork, is one of the most educated players of the Ghoul. And, you know, rather than like I keep fumbling around and trying to introduce you, how about you do it for me? So, who are you? What are you known for, and what really got you into playing the Ghoul?
Hi, I am bnork. I definitely am most known for Kaneki recently, but for people that have known me for a while, there was about 2-year arc where I was known for playing Wesker, and some people still know me for that. My big thing was being on console. I did the freaky flick shit and cool epic hug techs back then, but I've been mostly on Twitter. Kaneki's been my recent thing, and I think I've made a pretty good name for myself on Twitter then. I do streams and stuff, but I'm pretty inconsistent at it. The thing that drove me to Ghoul was honestly I just really like grappling hooks, and I'm sure anyone that was on the internet at that time saw
Reddit leak, fucking shady screenshot, Twitch message talking about yo, streamer, what do you think the power is? And
that got me really interested because I am a really big Tokyo Ghoul fan. So I was just kind of sitting on the edge of my seat, rubbing my hands together like a fucking fly, waiting to see anything that came out for it. But as soon as I got my hands on the character, I was just instantly completely in love. It's just everything I love in a character, from thematics to gameplay to power fantasy, kind of everything.
And it being from a license that you really enjoy too, of course.
Yeah, that helps a lot. I know there's a sentiment around I'll play anything if it just feels good to play, and that's true to some degree, because I wasn't a massive Resident Evil fan before Wesker came into the game, but I kind of have to care a little bit, there's just parts of gameplay that are a lot more impactful or fun to you when you care, right? For me, seeing why they came to compose the music that way, or seeing the cosmetic descriptions, or all of the add-ons that they selected, or even smaller stuff he doesn't have very many voice lines in the game, but neuron activation every time he says may I ask what your name is, and that manga panel pops up. I'm just Ee.
So the initial he came out, or he was leaked, and it was oh, it's the Tokyo Ghoul, you're a big fan of Tokyo Ghoul. That's an initial appeal type of deal, the initial draw, I suppose, before we even knew what the power was. But what is now that you've actually played them, and I will ask a little bit on when you felt you mastered them, but I want to start first off by asking, what do you really enjoy specifically about the Ghoul? What is your favorite part about playing the Ghoul?
Pretty obvious answer, but it's the very fast-paced gameplay. But for me, I've never been a massive fan of just killers that just generically move fast. I'm not a very big Blight fan, for instance, and you'd think oh, they kind of do similar things, but for me, what I like about being fast is having to be smart at the same time. And I'm sure most people that know me know that I don't play Ghoul the very generic way that you might see the average Kaneki player play. I go for cut-off shit, which is something I'll mention in depth later on. I like using the gameplay of just
grappling hook this wall, fucking flick this way, go this way,
assuming and reacting to what the survivor's doing, and using the insane fucking momentum to put myself in a place that is beneficial for me to capitalize. Kaneki, in my opinion, what Kaneki is a insanely fast-paced M1 killer that uses their momentum in a way kind of like a nurse blink, where you're moving so fucking fast that you can position yourself exactly where you want to be to get an M1 within 2 seconds of finishing your power. And that's what I love. You can honestly slap a grappling hook on fucking anything and I would probably play it, but Kaneki does everything right, even down to the grab attack. It's not the freedom of the ability that I like, and it's honestly one of the things I dislike, but just fucking flinging yourself into a survivor and then they're just injured just feels really good. It's not my favorite, I wish it was harder. That's a general opinion that I have on Kaneki for a lot of things, but it's just the power fantasy of just being fucking fast and doing fucking whatever you want at any time feels awesome. It's also pretty faithful to Kaneki at the same time.
Yeah, I think I saw like a good bit of season 1, and then I read like 100 chapters of the manga. Like I'll be honest, it never really like clicked for me. I was just kind of doing it because it came out.
Oh man.
And like I'm not shitting on Tokyo Ghoul, of course. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, I didn't like it, so it's bad. But like I wasn't like a fan. Like it was okay, you know?
Yeah.
That does bring into discussion like of being harder to play. Kaneki's like first hit for survivors at least often feels like pretty bullshit, pretty free, whatever, you know? And like you said, you wish it was a little bit harder. I want to ask, what do you dislike personally about the character, the Ghoul?
So there's a few things that I'm not a massive fan of. First and foremost, since it was the first thing that I mentioned, the grab attack is a really loaded topic because it is free, and there is some element of it was kind of baked into his kit. Like, you know how like Plague is kind of like easy first hit and then complicated down, and Twins is like the opposite, where like the first hit is relatively hard, but then you just like back rev Victor after them and then they just fucking die. Kaneki's kind of like that, but like he's most compared to like Legion, right? Where like,
Hey, I'm gonna fault the pallet and hit you, Betty.
he's just a worthless M1. Kaneki at no point in the game is like ever worthless. Like he's never weak. He's strong at pretty much any point in the game. And what I don't like is just that Kaneki needs enraged, right? That's where most of his power comes from. So they made his grab attack like incredibly easy and accessible to like anyone, but they did it to such a way where like it's hard to not grab attack someone. So like if you're just trying to like move around the map or play a certain tile in a certain way, you're very likely to just like get suctioned into the survivor literally no matter what you do. Like it is genuinely too difficult to avoid it and too easy to get. Like if I was like magical world where I'm the developer and I got to only work on the part of the game that I cared about, I would have preferred that they like do the injury in a different way, because like he still has to have an injury tool to get enraged, right? Because like that's like a
That's like the lore. Like, you know, he eats people. He's a ghoul. Like blood, fuel, whatever.
right. It would have been ideal if they didn't literally do the exact same system, because like he has auto aim, for lack of a better term, on the environment as well. It's like how the system detects like a wall, right? But they use the exact same system on survivors, and they also gave it not only like massive aim assist so that you just struggle to not hit them, it also lingers for 0.2 seconds. So even if you input after you're not looking at them, you'll still just get suctioned onto them, which is just really fucking annoying. It also just feels like shit for survivor, because like the ability is also hit scan. So not only is it hit scan, so the second I see you and input, you just get hit, it also aims for me. Like I don't think they needed to give a hit scan ability aim assist on top of it. I feel like you could have very easily done one or the other. The next biggest thing that I'm just D1 hater of, I don't like the vault. I know like a lot of people don't love that opinion of mine, but it's pretty unanimous in like the actual like Ghoul community, like the people that play the character like religiously. The vault is just a bad mechanic. Like I play Survivor a lot myself, and a lot of my friends play Survivor. I don't think I've ever met someone that looked at a killer with a power vault and was like, yes dude, I got outplayed. Yes, I love this shit. More of this, please. Like, Chucky Scamper, everyone hated it, got removed. Wesker vaulting is, like, completely worthless, and it can never be buffed because who would want that, right? Legion has to have, like, no ability to down beyond, like, getting multiple hits. It's just not fun for, like, anyone.
And the Crossu all recently, that one. Oof.
Yeah, I completely forgot Crossu. They had to nerf that shit into feeling terrible to use, and it's still annoying, right?
Right.
Like, this is just like game design, but like I don't know why they just figured we should just slap that on, because they gave him an ability to injure someone whenever he wanted, and also an ability to just like jump over any resource, while also giving him a power that can play pretty much any tile if you're really good, right? Mm-hmm. And then like the third like infinity stone of things I don't like about Kaneki, he is really fucking buggy. You'll see any clip of Kaneki on Twitter or on YouTube, and his animations break. You watch a video of someone playing Kaneki and the power is failing for no reason in particular. Like, some of it is really fixable, because like some of his numbers are just really awkward numbers, but some of it is just genuine clunk. It doesn't make sense. I don't know.
And what are the usual like bugs that do happen? Like, is there anything specific that plagues Kaneki, or is it just like what you said, like with the power not working sometimes? And like I don't play a lot of Ghoul. Like I played him, I got his adept, and that's about it. I'm trying to get his achievement, but I don't really feel like playing him. So what's like officially wrong with him?
So for starters, his animations just look like shit. There is has a bug that's like a double-edged sword where Kaneki's animations will just completely break. Like genuinely like completely while he's leaping. So it'll just look like his like normal idle walking animation, but just faster. So that gives survivors like literally zero information on what he's doing because it also looks exactly the same as his cancel animation. So you just get zero input. Like I like playing against Kaneki a lot, but especially around the era of like kidnap tech, which was its own topic. A Kaneki would just leap behind you and have no animations, like their tentacles are completely down, like nothing is there. And then he'll just either bite you or just M1 you through like no animation. It just looks terrible. It's like anti-counterplay. But on the flip side, like the double-edged sword thing that I mentioned, it feels really good on the killer end because the thing animation just is really fluid. Because like you're not physically like getting like the FOV changing constantly, you're just sliding across the ground and it looks really smooth. I didn't realize that these things were connected until I saw a streamer POV of myself playing against them, and at the time I had that glitch, but they didn't have any animations. Like, he has a bunch of, like, small bugs that don't happen, like, all the time. He has this one bug that is just, like, completely random, where you just can't cancel your power. And you also can't leap on anything, so you're just stuck in the 5-second window until your power eclipses, and you just, like, put it down. I actually don't know what triggers that bug, but it's just really frustrating when it happens, because you could be, like, right behind someone, ready to, like, grab attack or vault or, like, cut off, and then your power will just say, no, fuck you, and you just can't do anything. It's, like, John behavior, like, getting mad at you for playing Ghoul, and, like, turning off your controller.
Sucks to suck, I guess. And we did kind of bring it up because obviously Dead by Daylight, it's a 5-player game. You need 4 survivors, 1 killer to play it. This is probably going to be a really obvious question, but just to get it out of the way, what would you say is the most like frustrating part about playing against the Ghoul? Not for you specifically, but for like average Sally survivor.
Yeah, that's definitely like one of those bombshells that's just going to happen.
I mean, we had to get to it at some point, you know. Address me.
Address me, big ass elephant, just like the Ghoul. It's like an elephant with a Ghoul mask, just like address me. People hate the grab attack because it feels like shit and feels like you can't do anything against it, which like we can talk game design all we want, but like that's just definitively never going to feel good. And the vault is just insufferable for some people, and I don't blame them. I'm like Jonathan Ghoul Glazer out here, but like I don't expect anyone to like these things, but I also would appreciate if like people gave more feedback, you know, fuck this killer, delete them, I hope behavior lose the license isn't really helpful at all. I wish people were just like, I wish he couldn't do this, or I wish instead of this he did this, right?
Like it not having auto aim and hit scan.
Yeah, like people don't realize that just like yelling at behavior for just like, hey, fuck you, you made this thing, I don't like it, fuck you. It's just not helpful.
And they're just not going to listen to you, so.
You can't tell people, hey, you're wrong, and not tell them why. You know, it's like getting like that like ominous text message like, hey, we need to talk, and they're just never saying anything.
And then they ghost you for 4 hours. Yeah.
People also hate Kaneki's add-ons for like good reason, because like why the fuck does Yaomori's mask still exist? And Centipede is like one of the most annoying things to play against, like in the entire game.
You've obviously just said there's 2 that are like, what the hell? But do you think in general his add-ons are well designed, overtuned, undertuned, whatever, and just like what do you enjoy running? And are there any you want to specifically talk about?
Yeah, there's a few that I want to talk about, but like an overall description of his add-ons is just like he has Group A, which is just like completely overpowered slop. It's like the fuck you die add-ons, and then like and then like everything else. Because when people talk about like you see on Twitter or just like on Reddit or like any forum, it's like Kaneki is not only one of the strongest killers in the game, but has completely busted add-ons. They're only talking about Mask and Centipede, and all of his other add-ons are just like kind of boring. And like those add-ons should get like addressed. Like they again like address me. Like I don't know why they're still in the game. All of his other add-ons range from like use this every game because it covers like a fault of your power, or you will never use this, and if you P100 this character, you're just wasting like X amount of blood points getting this in the node, right? Other than Centipede and Mask.
I mean, it's not about Ghoul, but I do specifically remember a Nicolas Cage told me that Nemesis was an A-tier killer with S-tier add-ons, and like I wasn't even laughing because I was just flabbergasted. Like
the vile Marvin's blood.
I was running S.T.A.R.S badge and Ink Ribbon when he said this.
You can't be serious.
I'm 100% on my heart. I swear to God. I was legitimately like, what the hell are you talking about? Is this your first game of Dead by Daylight?
Fucking Ink Ribbon, dude. Holy shit.
Anyway, go on. Sorry.
No, you're good.
It's just like, no, absolutely. And then the ghoul gets fucking the centipede, which is just, I ban you now, goodbye.
Yeah, I don't know what they were cooking with that one, because, like, same thing. Like, I don't know anyone that's ever, like, played against a killer with a vault add-on that blocks windows and is thinking like, yes, more of this, please. Like, we saw Dracula with Lapis, and we all celebrated, like, thanks, behavior, very cool. But other than those two, like, abominations, like, they're getting kicked out of the club. They're not part of this anymore. All of his other add-ons are just kind of, like, really boring stat buffs that don't really do anything fun. Like, I use Coffee Satchel a lot. Like, I think Coffee is probably the most popular add-on outside of those two for good reasons. But the thing is that it's so common and so universally useful that, like, there's no reason to not use it, right? And it just begs the question of, like, why is this even an add-on, right? Like, why isn't this base kit? And I know that's like greedy ghoul players slapping their belly full of buffs.
Greedy Nemesis players wanting one base kit add-on because I don't have any other ones.
Wrong, fuck you. Marvin's blood nerf that we're gonna, like, slowly revert because we realized that decision was dog shit. But, like, as the survivor, like, you literally never notice if they have coffee or not because it's just, like, he's just fast anyway, right? So, like, why is this even an add-on? And then I use Satchel a lot. Like, I would genuinely advocate for Satchel, other than, like, the two abominations being, like, his best add-on. Like, I genuinely think Satchel is better than coffee, but coffee makes Satchel better, so you're just always going to use the two.
Team effort, yeah.
But then everything, like, literally every other add-on he has is, like, incredibly situational or useless. Kaneki's wallet increases your, like, intermittent leap duration, which is basically the time that you would bite people or decide if you're going to leap again. That is literally never useful. Like, the in-between leap duration is already too long, so, like, I don't know why you would ever need more than that. The only time it was ever useful was, like, in comp to kidnap tech people. That was literally the only situation where it was useful. And now it's just useless. Tayaki got nerfed 3 times, and it was increased to enrage duration, and now it's fucking 5 seconds. I play this character religiously, and I don't think there's ever a time where it's like, god damn it, man, if only enrage was 5 more seconds. Yeah, like, even, like, the stuff that's supposed to be strong, like, Torture Apparatus seemed like an add-on that they thought was really strong, but I've used that add-on 3 times and it never triggered. Because, like, you should never be losing enraged. At least not, like, enough to, like, validate bringing an add-on slot for it. So the point I'm getting at is, like, all of his add-ons are either, like, group A of broken slop that no one likes or useless. I think they were pretty lazy with his add-on design, to be honest.
And on the other half of things that are ran during a trial, you know, you have your add-ons and then you have your perks. Do you think there are any perks that Kaneki uses better than any other killer? And what is your personal favorite one to run with the ghoul?
I'm a big fan of Alien Instinct. I don't know, like, it's one of those perks that's just really comfy to me. Because, like, you should always have at least one person injured all the time anyway. So, like, just the extra info is nice, and, like, you move at mock fuck anyway, so, like, they're oblivious, and so they're just not gonna hear you.
I mean, they're gonna hear you, just not your terror radius.
I guess he's just, like, fucking screaming on the way there, but this is kind of like a really, like, holy shit, someone's talking about this perk for once, but I like Dying Light a lot. I'm a big fan, especially since, like, the whole injury thing, like, you can kind of just, like, move around the map, pop someone on a hook, gens are a bit slower. As for, like, using better than, like, anyone else, genuinely, like, Captain Obvious, Ruin, like, you're kind of just jumping around the map, pissing people off, breaking pallets, getting an injury there, making this person deep wounded, making them mend. Like, if you just want to, like, win more, like, Ruin Undying is probably one of the strongest things you can bring on him. He synergizes a lot, just like general slowdown, but he also synergizes a lot with chase perks. If you just want to piss people off, you can just bring Enduring and, like, jump through every pallet in the world and then brutal break it, and then you just can't do anything. It's really fucking annoying, but it's in the game, so I guess you can use it. It's not how I encourage you to play the game, but you can.
And while we're just on the topic of perks anyway, again, there are other players in the match, the Survivor team. Would you say there's any perks that survivors could run specifically? Because just, you know, hypothetically, if someone were to, I don't know, maybe dislike the ghoul a little bit, what would be the perk that counters the ghoul?
The single most fuck you perk in the game for Kaneki is made for this. Literally no one moved when I said that. It just kind of screws everything he can do. Like, if you hate the vault, the 3% haste will just turn the 50-50 into, like, a 40-60. Like, you're just not getting hit most of the time. If it's, like, a cutoff Kaneki, you will pretty much always screw him over. Even, like, using the leaps in the open to, like, back rev someone, like, you usually make the resource. It just kind of, like, makes you better at versing ghoul no matter what. Then I honestly think Kaneki Kaneki gets screwed over a lot by healing perks, like just anything that resets you, specifically Botany and Desperate, because the grab attack is like really free, but the successful hit recovery is longer than a basic M1, so each time you get the free injury, you are investing more time into getting it. The time it takes Kaneki to recover is 3 seconds, and the time to get power back is another 6, I believe. So it takes him about 8 seconds to go from I just hit you through the wall and you're mad about it to I have power back. So you can get a pretty sizable distance. So making him do that more will just like disrupt the flow of the game. Like Kaneki, as much as like people might not realize it, like healing against Kaneki is like really, really, really detrimental to his game, because like he wants to be injuring people as little as possible. He can easily injure you, but he doesn't want to. That's the thing that people don't realize.
He'd rather you just be injured, exactly.
So back on that same note, like Overcome hurts Kaneki quite a bit because he can't really prevent you from getting it. So like he injures you, you're fucking all the way in Czechoslovakia, and he's still like looking at his hands, thinking about like why the manga was better than the anime. Also, like Resi, like pretty much anything that benefits you for being injured or stops you from being injured is pretty huge against Kaneki, and then everything else is kind of just like, if you've been playing DBD for like the last 8 years, be pretty good, but that's just kind of generic meta stuff.
And have you been playing Dead by Daylight for the last 8 years? When did you really like start playing, and how'd you get into it?
So like I said, like at the beginning, I played DBD on console for fucking 5,000 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, huge loser. Shit, dude, I started playing this game when I was in high school. Holy shit. It's really funny. So I got into this game because one of my old friends, who I'm not really friends with anymore, it's just kind of like natural moving apart sort of thing. They were like, hey, this game, it's on Game Pass. You want to play? Because like we used to play like Minecraft and like Call of Duty together, and I was just kind of bored of everything. And they're like, do you want to play Dead by Daylight? Come on, play Dead by Daylight with me. And I was just like, fuck it. You know, I'm like kind of like a try anything once kind of person. I remember exactly what happened. They told me when you run, you leave scratch marks. And I ran, and I didn't see anything behind me. I was like, dude, you're just wrong. You're just a noob, bro. And so I just ran across the map. It was fucking old Red Forest against the Trapper. That was my first game ever. I remember hiding in Maine because I heard the heartbeat, and I thought the game fucking sucked. I thought it was boring as shit, and I was like, why did you ask me to play this? I don't want to play this ever again. And then I didn't play the game for like another 2 years, and then I just randomly got like a YouTube video. It was like a S.T.A.R.S video. I think maybe it was a Scott Jones. It was one of those, and I saw the gameplay. It was around the time that like Pyramid Head came out, and I was like, dude, holy shit, Silent Hill. And I reinstalled the game, and I just literally never stopped. So yeah, I started playing in like 2020. I started before then, but I came back to the game like forever because I haven't taken a break really. Like obviously everyone has like the burnout periods where like, you know, you're playing other games, but like you never really like break up with DBD when you're like in it for that long. So it's weird because like I really did not like this game like at all. And then I just never, it just became like my hyperfixation because like I've always loved horror stuff. I love Silent Hill, like I just said. I guess Silent Hill is the thing that got me to like really come back to the game. But like even like normal stuff, like love Ghostface, I love Myers, I love even like their like generic horror stuff, like the stuff that they come up with, the original stuff. Like I love the concept of Unknown a lot. Like other than Kaneki, like he's one of my favorite killers. The funniest thing, because I'm a Kaneki player now, the first killer, because like back then I didn't have money to spend, like I was a high school kid, so I didn't have money to just spend on all these like fucking DLCs. When you installed the game on console, they gave you like 9,000 shards and like Hag and Doctor for free. And I was looking at all the original characters because like I couldn't buy any of the other ones yet. I fucking started playing Legion because I was edgy as fuck in high school, and I thought he looked tough. And it was the same shit. It just it's like the Pokemon evolution. That's funny to me.
Kaneki from the Unknown and Legion, and okay, so we have a little bit of variety in your killer mains, you would say.
The bnork timeline was my very first killer main was Legion, then it went to Pyramid Head, then it went to Wesker, and now I'm on Kaneki. I'm sure you know this, like being like a Nemesis player, but like you know when you get that killer in the game and you're just like, I'm going to main this killer, and when I'm done maining this killer, that's when I'm just done with the game. I genuinely don't think they'll ever release another character that I like as much as Kaneki. Like it's like the perfect storm of everything I like in a character.
Yeah, mine's just I hate playing palettes, so I don't.
Real shit. Fuck palettes.
So with that being like 5 years ago at this point, you've been playing Kaneki essentially since he came out. I'm just gonna take a wild guess. How long do you feel it took you to actually really like master the killer? And I want to ask this specifically because a lot of the time, while yes, there are a lot of face roll, I'm gonna run force slowdown and then just like hard vault, hard get carried by my add-ons Kaneki players out there. I'm not denying that. But how long do you feel it took you to actually get to like Kaneki's skill ceiling, and what really do you think constitutes a good Kaneki versus a bad Kaneki player?
That's a really good question. So my opinions on Kaneki are like pretty diverse. Like it's definitely like you say the concept of like Kaneki skill ceiling and people are like, what the fuck? He's just gonna vault a pallet better.
There's no skill ceiling. Actually, you point and click and then they die.
This killer's easy as fuck, dude. You just jump around the map and they die.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And to be fair, I don't blame people for having that assessment because like there isn't really like a lot of like Kaneki content out there. Like there's very few like dedicated Kaneki players that don't just play him like very generically. And you're allowed to do that, of course, but like the like cutoff playstyle and like all the shit that I do isn't necessarily like the most popular thing. Like I don't think I've seen a lot of people really explain that. Like there isn't guides, which hint working on, but I have a clip that I'll definitely send to you for this. It was a moment in the PTB when I was like really, because I didn't get off that PTB, by the way. I played that PTB until they literally kicked me off and the servers died. I'm dead serious. I think I played the last game because I found out during then that like the matchmaking will just turn off. Like you just won't find a match ever again when they turn off the PTB. It was a moment on Red Forest against the Hattie on the really long kind of like eye palette. It's like a really long log and some trees and a palette. And I was like, dude, I wonder if I can like grab around the environment to kind of like fucking Spider-Man around them and like jump in front of the palette before they get there. And I thought about it and I made it reality and I did it. And I hit like my first like shitty Kaneki clip. And it was at that moment I was like, holy fuck, this character is like literally like Wesker 2v8, but like awesome. And then as soon as he released, I was like, okay. Cause like, dude, that 2-week period where like I couldn't play him was like actually torture. It was like, it was like actually like the manga panel of Kaneki ripping his face off. As soon as he dropped, I was like, okay, I gotta see if this works. I gotta see if this works. I gotta get this friend to do 1v1s with me. I gotta like dissect this character. And I really felt that like I started like really getting a grasp on him around the time that the Blood Moon event was done, when like I was like, I think I get what I'm supposed to do. Now I just need to practice, right? The thing about being like in the Kaneki sphere, where like there's a very big disconnect between the people that really like Kaneki and the people that really don't like Kaneki, is the people that hate Kaneki think the killer is like actually like a killer for bubble blowing babies. Like you could get like an actual guinea pig and like rig them in a big supercomputer and they could 4K every team. And the people that like Kaneki are like, this character needs some tuning, but like he's genuinely like Wesker levels of like mechanically impressive. And like the people that don't just like hate Kaneki for the sake of hating like fucking weebs, is that like even people that don't like Kaneki think the skill ceiling is impressive. They just think the killer is kind of easy. The killer like skill floor is too low. And I'd agree with that. I genuinely think that Kaneki has some of the most impressive mechanics in the game, but the thing that stops people from realizing that is the fact that you can fucking vault a palette whenever you want and just like choose like, oh, I don't want to use my brain, fuck you, die. You know, and the comparison that I've made for a long time, you know how like the Wesker apocalypse happened when like Wesker was like everywhere, and then like all the Wesker players sprouted, raise his hand, where like everyone's like, dude, this killer is like actually the most impressive shit, like more than anyone else in the ever game, and like I'm gonna release like 20,000 montages. I genuinely like, I can't prove this, but genuinely I believe wholeheartedly that if Wesker released in the same state that he did, except his like vault speed was like 20 times faster, he's just like Kaneki. Like everyone thinks the killer is like brain dead. It's one of those things where like they gave a character a really skillful and fun kit, but then they like gave him like an ability that just turns off the ability to need to use your brain. And I think that's what people hate. And that's also what I hate. Like I don't like that. Like I like genuinely I think the vault should just be like completely removed.
And then actually force people to interact with the play style of, you know, using the grapple to cut off things.
Yeah, because like he can, like Wraith does that, you know, like killers can just like be really fast and body block you and shit and be good. Kaneki uses blight bump logic to place himself in an area that is ideal for him. Like you don't necessarily have to like perfectly cut someone off to get it down. Like you just need to like zone them, like place yourself in a spot where like an M1 killer can do something, you know? There's also like other shit you can do, like prompt steals. There's like leap nulls and stuff. Like there's like genuinely like a lot of like mechanically impressive things you can do on the character, but no one realizes because no one thinks you can, because like why would I, you know? And like even me, like I get a lot of praise famous for being good at Kaneki, and I see a ton of people, like, I turn on stream, I put a clip on Twitter, I'd like anything, and people are like, holy fuck, you can do that? Dude, like, obviously that feels good to me, right? But like, no one knows that you can do this shit, and I really want to make that like the popular gameplay style. And other like Kaneki players like Fiction, Psychosu, my friend Mirage, like Genoxy, like all of these players are like insanely good, like just as good as me. But like, I just posted clips and they got likes, you know? Like there's a ton of good Kaneki players that do this shit. Like you can. It's just people have to know that they can. And I hope this gameplay like kind of catches on, because I would really love to see more people love the character that I do.
And see Kaneki's like general public, how people see him like go up as well. So as far as getting people to like learn all the stuff that you can do and the cool stuff you can do, we've been talking a good bit about like cutoffs. We haven't gone like specifically in depth about it, but does Kaneki have like any techs or something that you want to show off? I know he can shoot himself into space. Psychosu actually showed me that one. But like, what can Kaneki do that really makes him like skillful?
So the first thing, like the thing I've mentioned the most, is cutoffs. So a cutoff is a simple word to describe the act of like placing yourself where the survivor wants to go. So let's say like shack, for example, right? The survivor is going to want to go to either the window or the pallet, the two resources, right? Something that every survivor is going to want to do. So what you do is you use your ability to go fast as fuck to place yourself directly where they want to go, and then end your power and then catch up before they can make anything and down them, right? That's what a cutoff is. It's not like a exact thing. It's just a flow of gameplay. A tech that Kaneki can do is it's a thing that I really like. We call it prompt stealing. So everyone knows that like when you grab attack a survivor, they get injured and marked, right? The mark is how long you have enraged. But there's two different things. When you have the deep wound, you have a Kagane mark. When you get rid of the mark, like you get rid of the deep wound, you're on a countdown. Those are two different things. They just look the same. And for most people, like who gives a fuck, you know? He has enraged. That's what the information you're getting. If you've played Kaneki, you know that if you grab onto someone who has a mark, you kind of just pull yourself to them, and it doesn't really do anything. You just kind of like look at them and you get a longer fatigue. A normal cancel is 2 seconds. A prompt steal, like just grabbing onto someone's mark, is 2.5. It's a significant difference. But what happens is the utility of it is if you grab on to a survivor, they kind of put their hands up, they go, ah, and you interrupt them. Like you locked them in place and you interrupt them. That is useful because it blocks their action prompts. Like they can't do anything. They can't move or drop a pallet or vault or do anything. So if you time it properly and position it properly, you can just doctor shock them and kill them. That sounds a lot easier than it is, because like I said, like you have a longer fatigue than normal. So if you mistime it or misposition it, or the survivor positions themselves in such a way that you can't do it because there is like very intentional counterplay to it, you'll just put yourself in like an extra long timeout, and the survivor will like click their flashlight at you and teabag you, and you'll feel so much like a noob.
You're saying that there's actually things that you can make mistakes and then be punished for?
Oh shit, dude. Twitter's gonna eat me up. There are some other techs, like I actually don't know how I haven't mentioned this until now. The most practical tech is called slingshotting. Slingshotting is a tech to basically like increase your momentum. You essentially just preemptively queue up your leaps like quickly, right? So you just kind of like, the way Kaneki works is you just like aim at a place and you click and you go there. But there's no like input delay between like leaps. So you don't have to finish a leap and then leap again. You can be mid-air and then queue up another leap so long as you can like physically grab the object, and you'll just like double your momentum and go there. It's pretty hard to control because you're just moving so much faster than normal. But that's a tech that like literally everyone should do all the time, because it just makes your mobility better all the time. You can also obviously use that in conjunction with like prompt stealing or cutoffs to do shit fast, dash slop, you know. There is like Sky Kaneki shit, but that shit's it's like kind of like Skybilly, where it's kind of just a thing you do for fun. It doesn't really have like any like practical gameplay applications. I'll be honest, putting on my dunce cap, I actually don't know how to do Sky Kaneki shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is the guy I'm representing the ghoul. Doesn't even know how to Sky Kaneki.
You hired the wrong guy for this.
I'm shaking my head, bro. This interview's over. Okay.
Oh, fuck my life, dude. There's this thing that Fiction really likes called a leap null. It's like a leap cancel. So you use a leap and you kind of slide yourself where the prompt would be for a window. You don't physically vault it with power. You slide yourself to like normal vault, and you press spacebar for like a split second. You get the option to normally vault. And when you do that, you can leap again. Like it doesn't end your power the way that like a Wesker vault would. Those are kind of silly, and like they don't have like massive gameplay implications, but they are fun to do. It is like you can actually like do something practical with it, but like I've always been of the opinion opinion that like the way that I play the character, I just like to go for like cutoffs or prompt steals.
It's a little bit, wow, having playstyle options, that must be nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys just got like me go left, me go right.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's just like all the cool stuff you can do on the Ghoul, of course. So let's say that someone is directly inspired by you after watching this video, and they want to pick up the Ghoul, and they want to play the Ghoul, and they are going to play the Ghoul and, you know, learn. What is like some very general advice you would give someone learning the Ghoul if they're playing it for the first time? Obviously not going to be like a 5-paragraph essay, but like just the very basic stuff that you would want to learn as a new Ghoul.
Try to get more creative with your power. It's really tempting to just vault over everything all the time, and like you will get results doing that, but try to like actually use your really fast momentum to just catch up to someone behind. Like even if you don't like directly block the resource, you can still get downs by just landing behind someone, especially at Shack. Like I genuinely think playing Shack is far more effective than using the vault in almost every situation. I've been of the opinion that playing for like cutoffs or just using your power in chase is more beneficial than using the vault constantly. Like there's obviously situations to use the vault. Like there's a reason that people do it, but you will improve as a player and improve as the Ghoul far more if you begin using like all elements of your power. Like Kaneki is kind of like a box of tools, like a Swiss Army knife, where you can kind of just fucking do everything. So like don't get trapped into one gameplay style. Try to really use all of the tools at your disposal. Another thing that I see new players do like really often that they shouldn't, you do not need to use the grab attack all the time. When you use it, you, like I said, you put yourself in like a 8-second cooldown before you get your power back, and you do like the 3-second like successful hit recovery. If the survivor is in a location where they don't really have any resources, or they wouldn't get to any important resources in that time, you can kind of just land behind them, M1 them, and your recovery will happen while you're doing the M1 animation, and then you can just leap behind them and down them, so long as they, like, again, so long as they don't get to a resource. It's a lot more case by case, because like sometimes like if the survivor has a pallet like immediately right next to them, you're gonna get stuck in a chase anyway. Like just use it. Or if your enrage is about to end, like I said, it's like another one of those like don't get too complacent with one strategy. Another thing that people are going to get kind of mad at me because I'm going to wiggle my finger to be like, no, please stop using chase perks. Please stop slapping on Disillusion Enduring Brutal every single time you play Kaneki. Please, just like for a personal favor, stop doing that. Mm-hmm. Because it's another one of those things that just teaches you like really bad habits. Like you can obviously use what you want. I'm not like actually like genuinely condemning that, but when you stop playing a character for like their own strengths, you kind of just get stuck in like a repeated cycle. And what will happen is that like, yeah, I can just leap into every pallet, break it, and like back rev, and that'll work against like John Chungus 36. But then I queue into like an actual like team of people actually trying to play the game, and then I lose, and then I think, you know, Ghoul is dog shit. Like I don't know what everyone's talking about. Like it's these things that like you don't learn, so you don't get better. And like Kaneki's in a weird position where like his actual strength is not so much of an issue as much as like how easy he can be. Like the strength to difficulty is not an equal ratio. So like you will just win games with very little effort on your part, but you don't improve. And when that like, you know, devilish patch note happens, when Kaneki actually gets like a significant update, a lot of people are going to realize like, oh shit, I can't really do this anymore. So it's kind of like a future-proofing thing. And, you know, like if you want to get better at Ghoul, these are things that you should do.
And when someone's gotten as good at the Ghoul as they can be, like strength-wise, like saying just John Ghoul is playing the Ghoul, how strong do you think he is in terms of like actual power level? You can compare him to other killers if you want. I'm not saying like you have to give me a hard answer for like a tier or anything, but like how good do you think the Ghoul actually is based on your experience playing on and as and against the Ghoul?
Not S tier.
I agree.
So Kaneki is, like I said, he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can kind of do a little bit of everything. He's kind of like Dracula in some ways, where like he can kind of do a little bit of everything. But the things that he struggles with are Kaneki's chase is a bit of a sore point, where like his chase is not as good as people think it is. Well, a lot of people say the vault just kills me, but like it kind of just forces a 50-50. And if a player is particularly good at winning a 50-50, or they just have an immediate resource right next to them, it doesn't really do anything. And you put your power on a full 8-second cooldown. Right? If a survivor plays chases very efficiently and the teams hit tank properly, you can really struggle to get a 3v1, right? And Kaneki's 3v1 is really, really strong. That's when the character becomes like really, really strong. So in my opinion, I think Kaneki is, I want to say like probably like 6 or 7. My top 3 is like
Oh my god, dude.
Blight, Nurse, Billy. I think those are like the definitive, like no one would question me, like best killers in the game. And then Spirit, Singularity, and then I'm kind of torn. It's either right next to Singularity, it's either Drac or Kaneki. I don't know who, but I think Singularity is like definitively better than Kaneki. I think they do very similar things. Like Kaneki like leaps and jumps around the map. Singularity kind of just like sees you working on the gen and just like,
He's there now.
they're both like very like similarly like M1 killers a lot of the time, but then like Kaneki kind of like either vaults the pallet and ignores it or jumps around the pallet and tries to stop you from getting it. Singularity just like, I have Spirit Fury, and just like depletes resources, and then they play like the map. Like they're playing like a macro game. The difference is that Singularity's chase is a lot better than Kaneki's, and their map control, they don't have a cooldown. There's like EMPs, but like, I mean, they also invest time into getting the EMP off, or getting the actual EMP, which buys you more time to replace the cams. So I would say like he's definitely top 10. Like he's definitely a strong killer. I just think people overrate him a teeny bit, like a teeny tiny like little bit. I'm not trying to like undersell him. Kaneki, like his map control is insane. Obviously, Kaneki can also play the map really well by like, this chase is going on too long, I'm gonna leave and go to this side of the map, I'm gonna break these resources, I'm gonna, you know, take this health state, I'm gonna leave this guy slugged and go back to protect this part of the map. Like he can play the map really well, and he also chews through resources. But the thing that Kaneki doesn't do is his chase isn't like guaranteed, right? Like his chase is very like, he has to play better to get better results. Because like wholeheartedly, like after doing, like I've played comp, like I do Kaneki scrims whenever I can, and I 1v1 my friend who is a competitive player. And after doing these things and watching, like I'm big into comp, so I watch like a lot of Kaneki sets and everything, and I can say like wholeheartedly that I truly do not believe the vault is as instant kill as people say it is. Because like you have a hit tank, his power's off cooldown, okay, he's just an M1 killer for 8 seconds. It rewards you more than it should, but I don't think it is as lethal as people say it is. He can also still just like always like win that 50-50 where like, oh, he just pulled up power when I didn't think he was, and he jumped right on me, and then I was in his hitbox for like 0.2 seconds than I should have, and I got hit and died. That's kind of like the big thing where like Dracula's chase is better but his map control is worse, and Kaneki's map control is better but his chase is worse. So it's kind of like up to your interpretation, but in my opinion, like if I have to give an answer, I think Dracula performs like a little bit better against better players. So like top 6, top 7.
And with the Ghoul's like playstyle that you do obviously enjoy, I do want to ask a little bit, because you've kind of brought up a couple of times with Kaneki's actual backstory in the hit manga and anime Tokyo Ghoul. Do you enjoy him specifically just because of the gameplay? Like, do you think if he wasn't Kaneki and he was just like some, I don't fucking know, like the grappler, if he wasn't the Ghoul, would you still enjoy him? Or does the lore really tie into your enjoyment of the character? And just like in general, how familiar are you with the lore? And do you think he's well represented in Dead by Daylight by BHVR?
The simple answer is I would like him less, but I would still play him. Like you said, like if it was the exact same power, but like it's the alternate reality where we got like fucking Venom instead, like I would still play him.
That'd be kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. It'd be kind of tough.
That'd be kind of fire. You slingshot in the right way and you literally feel like you're web slinging. Like I'm so serious. Like I would still play it. Like this exact power is just something that I love. While it might not be like tuned the way that I want it to, it's just something that like I love the feeling of playing. So it wouldn't matter if he wasn't Kaneki, but it helps a ton. Like Kaneki's character is kind of misunderstood. Like I'm sure you've seen it where it's like, why is Kaneki in this game? Isn't he the good guy? No, that's a different killer. But also no, he's the protagonist, but like he's not.
They also changed his lore to be like a little different.
Yeah, even in canon, Kaneki is not a pure of heart shonen. Like Kaneki does a lot of pretty fucked up things. Can I talk about manga shit, or do spoilers not matter?
I will put a spoiler timer on your screen right here. Boom. If you don't want to get spoiled, go to this timestamp. Boom. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So in the manga, Kaneki like he's a ghoul, so he has to eat people, right? And like for a lot of the story, Kaneki tries to avoid that, but like for several parts in the story, he just like fucking kills someone and eats them, right? During like the infamous torture scene, Kaneki's like mind gets like broken, and he's just like, dude, fuck this shit. I don't want to be nice anymore. I'm not.
Nice guys don't win in this world.
Instead of just like outright killing Jason for torturing him, he literally rips out his Kagane and eats it and leaves him to bleed out and die. So for Kaneki specifically, I mean, it applies to all ghouls, but Kaneki like predominantly, they have to eat to heal. There are these clones, basically, these like bioweapons, Nemesis reference, that are basically used with Rize's Kagane, and they're basically like little Kanekis. that are used to like for the government to like kind of get rid of all ghouls, like use the ghoul to destroy the ghoul, right? Kaneki loses a fight, is like, shit, I'm going to die. I need to like lock in. He looks at the like little, who is by the way like an actual like child teenager. He looks at them, says, I need to heal. I will move forward like a centipede, grabs them by the face, rips it off and eats them to heal. And then he does that for like several other of the same like clones. He eats so much that his like RC values goes through the roof. Like the stronger the ghoul, the more RC they have in their body, their bloodstream.
It's like midi-chlorians, yeah.
He eats so much that his body does not know how to react to all of the extra like power that he's getting, and he turns into a literal fucking dragon, like a massive cogne that looks like a worm, and he tramples the city. Like he doesn't mean to, he just wanted to heal, but like this does happen because of something that he did. So actually, like you imagine like you drop like a fucking dinosaur in the middle of New York, like people are they're gonna get hurt because of what Kaneki did. And that's like not even like the only example. Like there's a ton of like smaller examples of Kaneki like kind of being a dick or doing bad things. So like isn't he a good guy argument, you didn't read the manga. And again, like that's okay, but it's like it's kind of like saying that like isn't Venom a good guy? Like no,
He does good stuff sometimes, but he's not like
yeah.
Captain America.
As for like Kaneki's representation in the game for licensed characters, I genuinely think that like his adaptation is like really clever. He's taken from the part in the story that like kind of everyone knows, where like Kaneki gets tortured by Jason, defeats Jason, and then like leaves. In the canon, Kaneki's like kind of fucked up and like really like traumatized, but he's still like, I gotta be a good person, but bad people gotta die, right? When ghouls start starving to death, like when they refuse to eat people, they start like ghoul tweaking and they kind of like start hallucinating. They'll just like kill and eat anything that they can. The Kaneki that we have in game is a version of Kaneki where he defeated Jason and then it's ghoul tweaking, where like he's literally starving to death. He is eating because he has to and like was being starved while being tortured. It's an AU, like it's an alternate version of Kaneki where like he just like started genuinely freaking out and just didn't return to being like a morally gray. Like he's just fucked up. And it's still like tragic because like, you know, he didn't want to be a ghoul, but I honestly think Kaneki's like adaptation in the game is really faithful. Like it's like an alternate reality, so like you can always make that argument that it's not like faithful to the entire canon, but like Behavior in some interviews said that like, you know, the people at Studio Peridot like really, or like whoever they got their licensing from, I'm pretty sure it's Studio Peridot because they made the anime, and the license that we have in the game is very clearly from the anime, but he reacts very similarly to how he would in the game. Like the fact that Kaneki doesn't speak in game makes a lot of sense. Like other than like the 1000-7 thing, he's freaking out. Like he's just worried about eating, so that's why he's only screaming and yelling and not really saying anything that makes sense because like he's not mentally there.
He doesn't have the one-liners ready because he's not really thinking. He's just like, it's like a feral Kaneki, basically.
Yeah, like if he was mentally there, he wouldn't really be doing this. He'd be like, what the fuck am I like? I don't want to hurt you guys. Like I'm just hungry. I don't want to fucking do this.
Hey, Dwight, hand me a toolbox, bro. Let me crank that gen with you.
No, but like actually he would. Like that's the funniest thing. This is just a headcanon. Like this isn't like I don't know this obviously, but I was having a conversation about like Kaneki's adaptation with some friends that really like Tokyo Ghoul, and the thing I just said about Kaneki like not actually wanting to really hurt anyone is really evident in the fact that his power is like insanely oppressive for injuring someone, but does nothing for actually downing them. Like he's just hungry. Like I don't know if that's on purpose. Like I doubt it, but like it really does make sense. And then even like his menu music, and I love his chase music, they use all the right instruments to convey tragedy. Like I have a really long and nerdy thread about like music composition because I really like music, but the instruments they use in Kaneki's Chase and Terror Radius are all indicative of tragedy. I think in layer 3, it's like really fucked up and like random piano strokes that are just loud and abrasive with a guitar that's like just fucking jamming out, man. They're going crazy. It's really indicative of a mind that's like losing itself. Like if you listen from layer 1 to Chase, it's indicative of a mind falling apart. Like the Chase music sounds sad. It's a personal headcanon that like a lot of Chase musics are kind of like, yeah, I'm the killer, be scared of me. But like for me, like the Chase music for Kaneki feels a lot more like it's more of a tragedy that Kaneki is doing this, I guess. I guess some Survivor players would agree because I fucking hate his ass. Tragedy that he got added. But I'm really happy with Kaneki's adaptation. I do If I was big and greedy, slapping my big and greedy belly, I would have wished that we got the manga adaptation. The reason I say that it's like evident that we have the anime and not the license is the Aogiri outfit, the default. That is an outfit that only made an appearance in the anime. The manga version of that, he's just kind of wearing a hoodie.
That does actually segue really well in the next thing I want to ask about Kaneki's cosmetic options and your being big and greedy. So how do you feel about like the 2 that he has right now? And well, you're going to say no, obviously, but do you think he has enough cosmetics? And if you were to be able to like get and choose one, what would you add for a cosmetic for him?
I think his like first round of cosmetics, like his release cosmetics were a little, they were like the obvious picks, right? Like it's just like everyone knows Kaneki's fucking hard ass torture outfit, and Rize is really important to the story, right? Like Kaneki wouldn't exist without Rize, but I think he definitely deserved more than what he got. For cosmetics that I would want, like my number 1 pick, at the beginning of the series, he has this outfit. It's like a blue hoodie and his mask.
Is that the one that they added the little like icon of?
Yeah, it's actually in the game. The one badge where he's kind of like looking at himself in the like kind of like really iconic like sky thing. That's the outfit that I would really want. So like that outfit with the mask and everything would be awesome. For like other stuff, like there's a really iconic scene in the manga where it's called Centipede Kaneki. I'm sure you've seen people talk about it. When a Kagane gets stronger, or when a ghoul eats other people's Kagane, because they can do that, fucked up and evil, their Kagane gets stronger and it evolves into a Kakuja. And Centipede Kaneki is like really fucking evil, stronger Kaneki. Okay, the least greedy thing that I would ask for, and I'm sure like Tokyo Ghoul fans are all just like mad that this hasn't been added to the game already. It's not even a new cosmetic. I just want the tortured outfit to be unlinked. I just want to use the mask with tortured. If you like look up any sort of like resin statue or like Tokyo Ghoul merchandise, you'll see like the black shirt and white jeans with the leather mask on. The fact that you can't recreate that in game is so tragic. It's so sad. That's like genuinely one of my favorite outfits for the character.
Just like one of Kaneki's own tragedies.
It's like that one manga panel that's like memed the shit out of, where he's like looking into the air. There's a few other picks that I would really like to see, like Heisei from Ri is really good. I'd also love to see like an Inteku outfit, like the outfit where like he was like working at the cafe. Like that's one of his more like iconic outfits. It's not my personal favorite, but I think it kind of does deserve to be in the game. Yeah, I definitely think they missed a mark on not giving him some more cosmetics. Like not just because I'm obviously biased, but because like the chapter was like super successful. The killer's really popular. Like you ever notice like anytime they talk about Tokyo Ghoul, they get all like starry-eyed and giddy. Like, oh yeah, it was one of our most successful chapters. Yeah, we really love Tokyo Ghoul, guys. Like I honestly think they kind of regret not putting more cosmetics in the game.
You can always get more.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen at some point. I honestly think that, like, if you look at their release schedule, like, it was Tokyo Ghoul, which was just, like, a single killer, like, no map, no nothing, followed by fucking, like, FNAF and Walking Dead. Like, I'm sure they just have, like, too many slots. Like, I'm sure we'll get it at some point. They're just busy with their other licensing shit.
Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of all the stuff that you would want to have like added as a skin for Kaneki, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff. He has a very rich lore, just kind of one of those characters that has that type of thing going for them, thankfully, rather than characters that had one game and then they died and then they never got another iteration. Anyway, I want to ask, with those skins, like, and those ideas, like the mask and the tortured outfit being like your favorite iteration of Kaneki, the one that you would want to see the most, and how we just talked about how Kaneki didn't come with a map, what would you say is your favorite map and your least favorite map? And just in general, what makes a map good or bad for the ghoul?
My favorite map, honestly, this is an opinion that's changed a lot, especially with like palette density, because like that's a big thing in the game. Before palette density, I was a big fan of Father Campbell's. I know it's like not like a popular opinion, but like I just like the tiles a lot. The layout of the map was really fun, and like Main can be kind of annoying, but currently I think my favorite map is Lake Mine. I really like Lake Mine for a lot of reasons. It's honestly just one of my favorite maps in general, but especially for Kaneki. Other than that, like Coal Tower and like Wreckers are all good, but like, you know, map RNG is really fucky right now. What makes a map good for Kaneki is Kaneki likes very long straight tiles or very consistent geometry, like squares or long like rectangles like TNLs, right? He doesn't really fare too well with like really awkward geometry, like rounder, kind of more just like complete trash piles, because when a tile is too short, it actually ironically makes the vault worse, because the time that you spend vaulting, they're already around, like they're already looking at you, like pointing at your bald head, like what are you doing, buddy, you know? So Kaneki likes maps that are very generic tiles. like he can deal with clutter, but like he likes maps that are very normal, very like straightforward. He struggles a lot on maps that have too many palettes, too connected, that are all awkward. I genuinely think that like Nostromo has got to be like his shittiest map. Like there's no tile on the map that like is fun to play like at all. Even if you vault brain, like the tiles are so awkward that like you're just not doing anything. Gideon is another one where like it's not necessarily like awkward tiles, but there's just so fucking many to where like do a cool cutoff, they're already at the next tile. Vault the palette, okay, what are you going to do when they go to the next 3 god palettes? All indoor maps are kind of ass, like Hawkins, Larry's are just like, they might not be like impossible to win on, but they're not very fun. Like I would say Hawkins like has to be like up there with one of his shittiest maps. Not as bad as Nostromo, but like definitely up there. But Kaneki is pretty freeform. Like he's definitely map dependent, but he's not as like you just get to play no game like you might feel on like Wesker where it's like, okay, or like projectile killers, obviously. When a map is indoor, you just have to spend more time like using your power to like rotate around the obnoxious hallways that no one likes. So there's always that. And palette density, I feel like palette density hurt Kaneki a lot more than people are willing to recognize because the killer is so strong and they just don't care. And like, you know, to each their own, like everyone's welcome to their own opinions. But like personally, I don't know if you've been on any Autohaven map ever recently, but like you look on like Shack side, it's like, oh, they have a filler connecting to Shack. That's okay. I'll just go there. Oh, another filler into window. Oh, they have a jungle gym. Oh, it's also connected to another filler, into another filler, into an edge map filler. Like holy shit. You just spend so much of the game like role playing a blight player. Me break it to palette. Me break it to palette. Me break it to palette. You know, it's just really not good for Kaneki. Like at all. He can still win. Like in games with like a fuck ton of connected palettes that you can't really play, you kind of just have to play like super macro heavy and just like, all right, I'm gonna spend like 5 minutes here, break these palettes. I'm gonna spend another 5 minutes just like pissing off everyone next doing the gin at Shack, gonna leave them again because they have 3 fillers right there. You know, you can still win. It's just not very fun for anyone involved. In the event that like palette density gets reverted or like side graded, like I really love pretty much every Autohaven map. I'm a big Wretched Shop fan. I like Wretched Shop a lot. Blood Lodge isn't my favorite in the world, but it's not bad. Like I'd say like for comp, like it's fair, but even Blood Lodge can feel like really overbearing right now because like I did scrims a few weeks ago and literally every part of the map had like 4 connected fillers. Like it felt like I was playing outdoor Gideon. I was like actually like smashing my face into my monitor.
Absolutely. It's been tough recently. So not that right now you would really be going into that type of thing, but how do you feel about, like, in general, the concept of win streaking and doing win streaks? Because, you know, you enjoy playing the Ghoul, you're pretty good at said Ghoul, and because you did like bring up playing in comp stuff and doing like more competitive setting type deals, so have you ever done a win streak and do you enjoy doing them?
I have done a win streak, but to be completely honest, I just got bored. I like the concept of win streaking, and like honestly, like I can see why it's like really important for like content creation, because like I think the reason I like competitive as someone that plays the game like I do, I just kind of like having an interest in winning, and I think public games can feel kind of like really sluggish. Like okay, I can win this game, but I don't like really have any incentive to. I know win streak can be like kind of a pretty divisive topic for some people, but I honestly don't think they're really that bad for the game. I think the community, by and large, has like kind of moved towards a more competitive mindset. I mean, I'm sure someone that streams the game like you do, you get salt in in-game chat anytime you win. You get BM'd anytime you lose. Like, it's like people like winning, and I don't really see why it's different when people playing killer want to win. Like, sure, like it doesn't feel good to like roll into a lobby with very different like intentions, right? You have like 3 people on the team that are like ready to go, you know, like SEAL Team 6, and then you have like the Kate who just kind of wants to like do their archives. Wait, they remove those, wants to do their dailies and just have fun, and then they roll into like a win streaking comp Kaneki that like has like mask Centipede 4 slowdowns, and it's just like they get that unhook notification and they're just already back. You know, like I don't expect them to have fun, but I think that like win streaks are a thing that would stop being a problem if matchmaking was better, and if people stopped saying they don't care about winning, but then in that same vein get really upset when they lose. Like, you know, like the whole like when matchmaking or like MMR was like a big topic, I think people even nowadays still have a really big misinterpretation of what matchmaking even is, because like every single person watching this and every single person like that we speak to is probably at maximum R, because it doesn't take much to get there. Like it's kind of just a wild west. Like I queue one game, I get like people that just don't want to play the game that are all going next, and then I queue again and I get like an actual comp TTV squad, like all trying to win the game as hard as possible with like min-maxed like builds to maximize like everything. People like winning. And sometimes people are really willing to do whatever they can to win, and sometimes people just don't want to lose. And I think you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, I obviously don't think that like Blight should be going on like 1900 win streaks, but I feel like that's a problem that happens from both matchmaking and both the Blight is just overpowered, right? Same thing with like most other killers. You have a killer that's like in a relatively healthy spot balance-wise, and you don't really have those sort of problems. I don't think that they're as big of an issue, but I like win streaking. I don't think they're a problem for the community. I think the only problem that rises from them is that people might get the interpretation that they, like, if I'm good enough at the game, I can go on these big win streaks, and I feel like you shouldn't be able to. You just can, because the game is in such a spot that allows you to. So, like, if they watch a video from, like, 3 years ago, and they're like, oh, dude, I can't wait to go do this, and then the game has changed drastically, and they're like, this game sucks now, I can't 4K every game, you know, like, that's the only thing that comes, but that's just community interpretation, you know, that's something that will change as the game changes.
And speaking of community interpretation in general, mostly about the Ghoul, I would say, do you think there's any, like, I mean, I know we've covered a few about, like, Kaneki not being S tier, of course, but what is, like, the most common misconception about the Ghoul that you wish people just kind of understood? Just, like, if there's some really obvious counterplay that's not being used that could be offered up and people could, you know, improve at playing against something they don't like, what would you like really try and teach people for that?
I think the two like biggest things are, the first one is like that the character has like no counterplay. Like I don't know if that's like rage bait or just people like venting frustration, but like the character does have counterplay, like without a doubt. There's no killer in the game that doesn't. The counterplay to a lot of things is kind of just like generic looping for the most part. Like, you know, like the Kanekis that'll just kind of vault everything or break every pallet. You kind of just loop the way like you do against the Trapper or Legion. Like, not saying he's as strong as them, like he's obviously stronger, but like at a generic filler or shack or something, like he's just gonna chase you like a normal M1 and then try to either vault or like cut you off, right? And against most Kanekis, like they're probably just gonna vault after you with Centipede or brutal break a pallet. And in those situations, you kind of just greed like a lot until they get bored of like pulling their power up and giving you another loop, and then they'll just eat the stun. So that's one big thing of like his counterplay being non-existent. Because like I need to like go ahead and like put out a guide, and it's like something I'm working on. But like, you play Survivor, right?
Yeah. Okay. Before we do this, I was a Kaneki hater. Okay, until the Crossu came out, and then like I had an evening of like I had no Crossus. I saw a Kaneki, and I was thankful because it was not the Crossu.
Real shit.
I did not like playing against the Ghoul. I will like it is growing on me very slowly, but I would prefer not to. So like I kind of get it, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, this Ghoul player, oh my god, I need to fucking kill this guy.
I don't think people have to like the character. Like I fucking hate Huntress, but I don't really like care. Like I don't want her like deleted from the game or anything. Mm-hmm. I think Kaneki can definitely be like pretty annoying to play against, but like not to me, but that's just because I know the character in and out. But like I've shown a few people like things you can do, and it works pretty well. Yeah, I don't really have an issue when people don't like him. It's just like when people are like,
if you play Ghoul, you gotta die.
You know, like that shit. I don't like. Oh, back on your actual thing. So like you play Survivor, so like the thing that people do to Wraith is like actually identical to like what you can do to Kaneki. So like Shadow Dance Wraith, you know, like he's cloaked obviously, like so he can't physically hurt you. So people will like vault over a pallet a bunch of times until he uncloaks. You can actually do the exact same thing against Kaneki. So situation, you're running around a filler, you don't have enough distance to loop it again, so you're like at the pallet about to drop it, right? And you know, or he already has like pulled up power, right? Just stand there. Like I'm so serious, like not a joke. Literally stand in the middle of the pallet. You're gonna see his brain literally short circuit, and he's just gonna stand there for a second. He's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And he's either going to put power down and then let you drop the pallet and break it, or he's gonna put power down for a second and then pull it back up. And if you just keep like mugging him, he's gonna like short circuit again. You can also always kind of like Huntress him, where like he pulls up power at a pallet and then you loop again and then rinse repeat. It's not like one size fits all thing, because like he can still vault it. Like at some point you're gonna have to drop it, right? But like you can extend the chase like a ton, or you can buy time to get a hit tank in. if a pallet is already dropped, right, like you're like, oh fuck, like I have to vault this and he's gonna vault after me, literally just vault over and over again. Like same situation, but you're like looping around the pallet, you're about to vault it and he's gonna jump after you. Just vault it again, and what most likely is gonna happen is he's gonna grab onto you and put himself into fatigue, and then you're gonna get away scot-free. It's like a 50-50, but genuinely I found it really consistently works. Like it's worked against me. It's always embarrassing when it happens because all they had to do was like wait a second, but it works quite a bit. And then like the shit that I do, you know, like cutoffs, you can double back Kaneki even if he's like not the best in the world. So the way Kaneki works is like he grabs onto the environment and then he'll complete the leap no matter what. So like a lot of times they'll cancel mid-air. So just to cover like a short form of distance, Kanekis will kind of like jump after you and then cancel. So they're already like locked in to exiting power. So if you like immediately run back into them, you'll kind of equal out distance and he won't really gain any on you. And if it's in a tile, right, like you can see the Kaneki like getting in position to try to like cut you off before you make the pallet or something, you can just run back into him and then he'll kind of like look at you for a second like, dude, what the hell? And then just like cancel power and try to do it again. And like anytime he's in cooldown, like his cooldown is really consistent. So you can just drop the pallet. He's forced to kick it. The pallet kick will most likely give him like an extra penalty to his power. So like you can genuinely do a lot. It's just that because the killer isn't necessarily played in a way that like Kaneki players don't play the same. Like you can play against two Kanekis and it's either like a guy like me that's gonna try to like fucking like zigzag around a tile, or you can get like Jonathan Invincible 66 and he's just gonna like vault after a pallet every time you do anything with like literally zero intention of doing anything else, and it's gonna feel like playing against two different killers, which is kind of why I want the vault gone, because I just don't like that gameplay like at all, and I think Survivor players would agree with me. But like I kind of got sidetracked and talked about counterplay, but like that's a big misinterpretation. Like there's genuinely like so much counterplay you have. He's obviously strong, right? Like he can still just kind of like kill you sometimes and win, but in chase, like he has a ton of counterplay. But then the other misconception is that the character is skillless, and that one actually pisses me off. Like I won't lie, that it's rage baited and it's working. Like you can play literally any character in the game in a really simplistic, stupid way, and like depending on the tier of the character, you get better results, right? I'm sure you've seen nemesises that will just only pull up power at a pallet drop and just do nothing else, right? And it's probably like fucking infuriating.
Oh yes, don't get me started.
Like it's infuriating, right? And like someone in like an in-game chat is like, Nemesis is so fucking easy. And like you're sitting there like, but like the people that actually play the character know, you know? When you describe things in a very easy, like simplistic way, like dude, playing Blight is so fucking easy. Like literally all you do is rush around the map and hit people. Yeah, dude, that must sound so easy when you like lose all nuance, right? There's parts of Kaneki that are skillless, like the grab, anyone can do that. Like the grab attack, anyone can do that. And the vault is not mechanically hard to do at all. But the better the players are, the harder the killer gets. Like, I mean, people might not necessarily think he's like the pinnacle of skill, but like you ask like multiple comp Kaneki players, I mean, there's obviously bias there, but like no one's gonna think that he's like a free 4K killer, you know? I don't blame people for coming to that conclusion because again, like I think there's like an information deficit where like people don't necessarily know all that you can do with the character, so they don't try. So they play the character in a simple way. But I really don't like the take that he's simple, and I don't like, or the take that he's easy. I'm not a fan of that. I think it's very uninformed.
And while the average player is obviously not going to have your knowledge, do you think that a part of why you enjoy playing against the Ghoul is because you main the Ghoul? And do you, like, in general, really enjoy playing against the Ghoul? Or is it more of, like, a playstyle type thing, as with, you just said there's different playstyles for the Ghoul?
I think the amount that I play him and the degree to which that I play him definitely has some part in it. But I think I would have liked playing against Kaneki even if I wasn't a Ghoul player. I mean, like, the grab attack is annoying. Like no one's denying that. Like, I'm sure, like, you get hit with that shit, it's like, okay, buddy. But the actual like back and forth in a actual tile is quite enjoyable to me. Like it's kind of just anime Wraith when you really break it down. And I already like Wraith, you know? So he's going to try to do this at a pallet. I'm going to react to it. Oh, he's going to try to cut me off here. I'm going to double back it. Like there's genuinely like so many back and forths. Because the same friend that I do, like his name is Mirage. We do like Kaneki 1v1s, and the few times I've let him play Kaneki, like it's been really fun to me. There's just a lot of like back and forths. Like genuinely, like he's one of the characters that I genuinely feel is like a constant like mind game where like, okay, Mirage thinks I'm going to do this, so he's going to double back me here, but I'm going to expect that he's going to double back me, so I'm going to cancel early, and he's gonna run into me, and he's gonna look like such a noob, and he's gonna go on Twitter. You know, like it's just really fun back and forths. And again, like I don't blame people for not necessarily like having that opinion, because like I do think the grab attack is annoying, and I do think the vault is bad game design, but like I don't think those things are the entire character, and I think those things are worth changing. I think that the gameplay offered from Kaneki is really fun. I honestly think some people are coming around to that opinion, because I've seen a lot more people like enjoy Kaneki, but like versing him. Like I was watching a streamer that I like, and they were kind of like they were not a big Ghoul fan.
It's okay, you can say me.
Yeah, I was watching Horceror.
But like on release, they thought Kaneki was S tier, and they really didn't like him. They just like honestly, like on release, they wanted like a full rework. And then I watched their stream today, and they were just like, yeah, Kaneki's like honestly really fun, but you just kind of have to surround yourself with people that know how to play Kaneki, and then you get like the information from them, the Ghoul players telling you what works, and then you try that, and it really does, and then he becomes fun. Like that's kind of the thing I say, where like there's an information deficit, and I honestly think that applies to DBD as a whole. Where like I think more people would have more fun if there was more information out there, but unfortunately, DBD fucking sucks for information. Like
There's not even like really a tutorial, man.
yeah, the tutorial sucks ass. Like it's just like, this is a pallet. You can press space to drop it. This will do something.
You have to do skill checks.
This is kind of a side thing that I won't go too much into, but I think DBD would be like an infinitely better game if it had like kind of like a fighting game style like tutorial screen where like when playing against the Blight, the first rush is completely non-lethal, and then the following two can be used like you can either flare him this way because I have to commit to a lunge, or like Nurse, like when the Nurse is fully charged, she cannot cancel it. So react to her blinking to and run back into her, or use line of sight to make her to force the Nurse to guess, like that kind of thing. Players just genuinely need more information.
In the client, yeah.
And I think Kaneki is a big example of that. And like Kaneki, and this isn't like necessarily like the best part about him, but Kaneki has a lot of things that are not necessarily like intuitive to understand, where like it's not immediately obvious at face value. You see Huntress, right? And it's just like, she's charging the hatchet, she's going to throw it at me, I need to dodge it, or I need to put something in between her, right? Kaneki is like way more complicated than that. So that can make some really frustrating moments. But in the event that like you already know, or you figured it out, like what you can do, it becomes a really fun back and forth. And you know, the tutorials help with that, but I honestly think that like the community should help the community, but the community should not be the only thing that helps players learn how to play the game. Like the tutorial is there to teach, and it does a bad job at doing that, which is a big problem.
I think my suggestion was there should be like at minimum, like a beginner, medium, intermediate guide for how to play as and against every killer.
Absolutely, dude. I completely agree with that.
They're never gonna do it, but
I have a friend that really likes League of Legends. Talking about you, Doma. Fuck you, buddy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a big hinge in our friendship. Gotta kill that guy. Slash J. The big difference about League of Legends, and they're obviously very different games, is that when a character comes out, they have like an obvious like cinematic like aura trailer, and then they have like this character can do this. To do this, you press this button and it does this. To counter this, you can do this and this, or this character is a hard counter to this and that. Like it's genuinely such a breath of fresh air to see like these devs like actually really want this character to like be understood. It's not like gatekept information or a tutorial that is only seen by like this part of the community. It's something that like literally anyone can watch at any time. Like you have a frustrating game against like a character in League, and you're just like, fuck, like I genuinely don't understand what that ability does. YouTube character trailer, and you just see, oh fuck, that's what their 3 does, you know? Like imagine if you could do that for like DBD, if the Spotlight trailer was like not just like
The Demogorgon can use portals, which make him go over there, and a shred that hits you sometimes.
like dude, are you fucking serious?
I mean, we're just talking about how Kaneki's like reputation. I'm not saying it's gone from like F tier to A tier like overnight or anything, but just over time, he has been more appreciated and like more tolerated, you know, whichever version of the verbiage you want to use. But would you say that like updates have been a part of that, like changes to his power, his kit, etc.? And would you say that any changes that he's gotten have been fair, buffs, nerfs, or anything else?
For the community reception part, like I honestly think Kaneki's reputation has gotten like maybe like 5% better, but I think there's still just a part of the community that just like adamantly fucking hates him, and I don't think that's going to change until they like drastically like side grade the character. And like some people are just gonna hate him, you know, like some people like desperately hate every killer in the game, and like you don't have to appease everyone. But I think that like there are parts like the same 2 parts that I keep harping on, like the vault and the grab attack, are just inevitable things that will need to be changed for people to like really start tolerating the character, and they're things that like should be changed.
Like the kidnap, which was changed.
The kidnap tech thing pissed me off because like that hurt his reputation so much, because like I can sit here and tell you that I don't think the vault is like as busted as people say it is, but Kidnap Tech was. Like, you just fucking died. Like, and like, it doesn't help that his animations, like I said it before, were like kind of fucked. So like, he would just be like standing still, looking at you, and it completely looks like his power is down, and he just Kidnap Techs you, you can't move, he vaults the pallet and you die. Like, that happened to me, and it actually pissed me off. But like, as for like balance changes that they've made so far, I would say that they haven't necessarily been completely unfair to him. I think the only nerf that I think was like genuinely uncalled for was the range nerf, because like it didn't do anything other than make him feel annoying to play. Like, the intention of the nerf was like likely to like address his like map control a little bit, but like I'm sure no one would tell you that his map control is worse. Like, it isn't significantly different. It just makes him feel kind of clunky and annoying to play. That's all that did. And then every other nerf that he got feels like justified in the sense that it was not a bad idea, but bad in the sense that it either didn't do enough or is completely forgettable, right? It sounds weird, but like the favorite nerf that he's gotten for me was the token loss on a pallet drop. That made him go from like incredibly obnoxious slop that everyone is going to hate to like, oh, he actually has a penalty for playing bad, or like there's a trade-off between like, okay, I can play this tile and like risk a little bit, make some risk reward, you know? Like, I can either try to mechanically execute and like play this tile and get the down, or I can just be like, fuck it, this is a bad thing, and save some time but lose my power for a few seconds. Like, that is really good. That was an amazing change that I hope they do more with, because like more killer specific attributes are good for the game. Like Kaneki losing tokens upon a broken pallet, Crossu getting stunned for longer. Like, these are things that I want to see from more killers. Not everyone, because like obviously like Legion, Trapper, Wesker, Nemesis like don't deserve to get like fucked over, because like they're not overt, like they're not like horrible killers, like other than like, you know, Trapper. They're not strong enough to justify like getting fucked over more by like base kit like attributes of the game. But like killers like Blight, Kaneki, Crossu, Spirit, Singularity, like they definitely deserve more punishment for a mistake or for playing the game safer, you know? Like, I think Blight should lose some tokens for broken pallet, for instance, but like that was a really good change. But like every other change that they made to Kaneki, I remember there was a really funny screenshot of the patch note where like Kaneki's aim assist got nerfed by like fucking like 95%. I think that was a good change conceptually, but a bad change in the sense that I just don't think the aim assist should exist. Like, it was good to nerf it, but I think it should just go. Like, I don't think that's a good thing to keep in the game. And then the same thing for like Yamori's mask. Like, they did nerf Yamori's mask, and it's like noticeably worse than it was if you played with it on release in PTB, but like it's still fucking broken and shouldn't exist, you know? So it's like they were good changes, like on a spreadsheet, right? Good ideas that I think most people would come up with and be like, yeah, it's a good idea. But like they were bad long term and didn't really achieve much. Like I've said continuously that most of Kaneki's nerfs either made him harder by nerfing him a little bit or made him feel more annoying to play. They haven't really like poked out the pain points of Kaneki, and I think that's something they really need to address to make him a lot more healthier and a lot more enjoyed by the community.
And that's all the updates for the Ghoul specifically, but Kaneki's been out for a little bit. Obviously, he's more of a recent killer when we're doing this talk, but how do you feel he's like really kept up with the game as a whole? Do you think anything's come out that's really like hindered his ability to succeed as a killer?
That's an interesting question. I think pallet density hurt him quite a bit, to be quite honest with you. Like I mentioned earlier, so I won't go on about it too much, but like connected pallets really hurt Kaneki, because like it kind of like prevents you from really doing like anything that he can do. If you go for like a cutoff or a prompt steal or some flashy play around a tile, like okay, they just have another one immediately right next to you. If you go for a vault, exact same thing. The pallet density change just hurt him like a lot, especially with like token drain, where it's like even if you opt to just like shred through these resources, like you're gonna spend so much time without your power that it just hurts people in a way that like I don't think they've really realized. For perks, the healing meta is pretty bad for Kaneki. Like I'm sure like everyone that's played the game has kind of seen like the uprise in like healing perks, like when Desperate got buffed, when Botany got buffed, like medkits in general, which got buffed by proxy of like healing perks better, syringes better, that kind of thing. Those hurt quite a bit. Conviction can kind of hurt, but like not as bad, because like, you know, they go down eventually, so like it's kind of just a general thing. Wigglif has seen quite a bit of like popular use, and Wigglif is like really frustrating because like you can down someone, break a pallet, okay, they're just up, you know. But in general, I think Kaneki's like the state of the game has hurt him a bit, but not enough to really move him significantly. Like at most, like the game the way that it is like right now, I would say that he moved like maybe a tier. Like before, I thought like he was definitively better than Dracula, and to be fair, Dracula did get nerfed, but like Singularity too, I thought there was like more of a debate between like Singularity, but now I'm just like, no, geez, he's just better. Like Singularity deals with palette density like way fucking better than Kaneki does. So he's still a good killer. So like he can't be struggling as much as like all of like the D tiers, like it's like struggling to get like 3 stages. He's still like hurt more than people realize. He's still okay though.
And the last question is kind of about like what learning the character has really like given you and all the things that, you know, you've learned from it. But would you say that Kaneki as a character, like if you were to say drop into Dead by Daylight, play the Ghoul for 100 hours, would there be any transferable skills that the Ghoul has that you can like put on other killers, or even vice versa, like with playing the Mastermind or playing the Legion has given you that makes you better at Kaneki?
In general, just like the most transferable skill for Kaneki, because he is a fairly unique killer, survivor pathing is really important for Kaneki. Like you really have to like zone a survivor to rotate in a very specific way so that you can cut them off or force them to go to a pallet or window at a specific time to prompt steal them. That's like definitely the most transferable skill. And then most of the other things are kind of like macro, knowing exactly what the survivor is going to do after I injure them, what gen they're going to get on, what resources I need to shred through. His macro isn't necessarily like super complex conceptually because he can just kind of move around the map all that he wants. But the better at macro that you are, the better Kaneki gets. At least before pallet density, you could really break like one pallet and then that entire map is just kind of like a dead zone. And then anytime you have to force them that way or protect that gen, you're just in a really good spot. And then also just like general like aiming skills, not necessarily for the grab attack, but just like for placing yourself where you need to be is very important. Reacting to what the survivor is going to do is kind of important, but you kind of get those skills from like every killer, like especially like at palette specifically, like both for prompt stealing and vaulting, just like reacting to what they're going to do. Like if they're going to greed, you just walk through the palette, or fake power to like make them think you're going to do something and then they're not. But I do think that like if you are a good killer player, you are likely going to perform well as Kaneki in his current state. But if you are a good Kaneki player, you're likely going to like not necessarily like dominate as most killers, but you're going to like if you start DBD, you just install and you start playing Kaneki, you're probably going to have a really good grasp on the entire game because like he kind of does a little bit of everything. Like he manages health states, so like if they're healing really fast, you know, like you have to shred through these resources or, you know, go for this person. He manages the macro game, so like, you know, like you understand like how important making a dead zone is and how rewarding that can be. And then like chases, he teaches you like genuine mechanical skill to outplay tiles. Like there are some palettes that you can literally only play if you know how to cut someone off. Like you do not, like the vault won't help. It's mostly like fillers and stuff, like Macmillan fillers. There's a few that you can only really do anything about if you know how to cut them off. Yeah, that's about what I'd say is like skill transferring is.
After learning all these skills with Kaneki that you can or cannot put on other killers, and just in general playing Dead by Daylight as long as you have, mainly since like the Pyramid Head release and throughout all the years, all the changes, all the things that have come and gone, how long in general do you think Dead by Daylight is going to last as a game before it like finally shuts down?
It's kind of complicated, especially like right now. Like I'm sure anyone watching this knows that like DBD is kind of in a really weird state where like I don't really think anyone's happy, right? But then like this time, like last year, like they were, I forgot exactly what time it was, but like I think a little bit before Tokyo Ghoul and FNAF, they were doing a pretty good spree of patches. It was that like patch where like they reworked Night, Freddy got his update. A little bit before that, they buffed Wesker a little bit. Like I think everyone was like relatively happy with the game, right? And then Tokyo Ghoul drops and like killer players are happy, but survivor players are just like, what the fuck? They release FNAF and there's just a fuck ton of bugs. They release The Walking Dead and like there's like Conviction, which is taking over the game. Last Stand, which is like bugged to shit and just like super finesse that also stuns you because fuck you. Game breaking bugs, accessibility issues, like all this stuff. And it's not like a flaw of the game. It's development time getting crunched or mistakes happening and just like the game getting chewed up from the inside. And like we obviously can't know what that is, like why that's happening as consumers, but like from like players, like we're playing the product and it sucks ass and like no one's really happy. But then they released like at the time of recording, they make a development update, which like something we never get, like a what's coming in the mid chapter. Like we almost never get that. And it's just all good changes, right? Like they listen to a lot of the feedback with like the anti-tunnel stuff and like it's not perfect, but it's like if you listen to their like reasoning for these changes, like they're all good. Maybe not perfect. There's like room for improvement, but like they understood what we were saying. Then they update the settings menu to look really clean and crisp. And also they give us like colored scratch marks, which is like isn't necessarily the craziest for like most gameplay applications, even though it's still fun. You know, like everyone would enjoy changing. Like I'm going to make my scratch marks moldy green. Like I'm fucking excited. That's really important for like accessibility as well. And then like I'm not a big Skull Merchant player, but like a lot of the Skull Merchant players are really happy that Skull Merchant's like finally getting like some buffs to like compensate for like their slaughtering of the character, you know? So like behavior is like all in, all out, like highest highs, lowest lows. There will be inevitably a point where the community is like, I'm fucking done waiting for like this game to like fix itself. It is a question of, is behavior willing to lock in and stop pissing off their community? Because like, you know, you can only fuck up and then apologize so many times before people get annoyed, right? Like there's the meme right now of like, how many apologies has it been this month? You know?
Yeah.
If behavior stays on a good track, few missteps here and there, nothing crazy, but like genuinely like listens to the community, does what people want, release like good content, I think the game could maybe not last forever like Fortnite, but like there's always going to be like the community for it. So it'll always like survive, like even as like a Friday the 13th, how there are like people for that even when the game like died. Like there's still like, you know, private servers and stuff. Like VHS has the same thing. But like for the average player, like just the person that like loads in, plays it on Xbox, I think the game could definitely see like, honestly, 6-7 years. Oh my fucking god, I said the meme. Fuck my life. Bottom text. You could see like 6 or 7 years of like active, like still like new updates and everything, like with new content and killers, and everyone's still, oh my god, new Sable skin. We give Epic $10 to behavior. But like if they honestly keep fumbling the bag, like if we have another situation like this where like everyone's upset, like the game might not have very long. Like that's not like Doomery, because like I want to say like wholeheartedly like I think behavior will lock in, but I think there's a point when like the community gets like too pissed off with forgiving you. Like I'm not saying like next year, but like I think in a worst case scenario we get like 3 more years of DBD. But like if they lock in like fucking 2050 still playing DBD, new killer, the Pennywise finally drops and everyone's freaking out.
They finally added the thing.
Not necessarily like the most like concrete answer, but like it really, like I've always been of the opinion that DBD will only die when DBD like
Kills itself.
I didn't know if I was allowed to say that, but yeah. If the game like kills itself, then like that will be the only thing that ruins the game. Because like, I mean, you've seen DBD players, they do one good update and everyone's like forgiven behavior completely, you know? But like, they can't keep doing that. Like there's only so much a community will take before they're just like actually just like not doing it. Like I've seen like 3 DBD boycotts in like the last 2 years, and like they always kind of like crumble when they drop a new skin. There's clearly like, this is the most like unanimous I've seen the community be like genuinely pissed off with behavior. And like, it's clearly working, but how much will it work? I have faith in behavior more than most people. Like I'm not one of those people that kind of just like shits on behavior just for fun.
Oh, I give them credit where it's due, but I also, you know, give them criticism where it's due. I mean, I will say this recent stream, and this recording happened on the 27th of October in 2025. Less than a week ago, we had a stream from behavior that felt very casual about, like, as you said, all the reasoning they were doing for all the updates. And like, it was genuinely such a breath of fresh air because like, it didn't feel super scripted. It felt more like bullet points. They took questions from the community. I got timed out, but like I was being a shit in Twitch chat. So like understandable, but it was a really fun time. It was really nice. And I want them to know that like, that is a good thing. And I'm hoping that we get more of that so we can like get actual feedback in the ideas. And also they're nerfing styptic and syringes, so I'm biased because I hate them with every essence of my soul.
W take.
But it's been nice when they actually communicate with the community. It's crazy, I know.
That's my big line in the sand, is that I genuinely think that like a lot of my hope for the game got reinstated with this update. Or like the stream, I mean, because like it might not be the most like crazy like content packed update in the world, but it's clear, like 2 things to me are clear: that they are willing to take a backseat to changes when they think the game will die, which I genuinely think the game would have died if they released the anti-tunnel changes. Killers just don't play the game anymore, right? Like no one enjoyed that. Even Survivor players didn't like that, but they took a step back, didn't push it to live, got some feedback, really digested it, even like swallowing their pride, because like you know it can't feel good to like revert all those changes that you put work into, and then fixed it. And like again, it's not perfect. Like there's gonna be more stuff to change, like more criticism to give, but if they stay on the path of like, all right, this game is for you, we're a community, like we exist to make the game for you guys to play it. The game could honestly like keep going for honestly ever. This community has proven that like it will keep playing the game even if they genuinely shouldn't because they're pissed off with it. But like there's always a line in the sand. Like there's always a line in the sand.
Yeah.
And I want to say that I think the game will like keep going for at least another 6 years, but they can always prove me wrong in both ways. So.
And my last question for you, just pretty quick and simple. What is your line in the sand for like the character you main? What change could be made that would make you quit the ghoul forever?
Honestly, the only thing that they could do that would make me like genuinely consider quitting him is the cancel cooldown. Like that would make him feel like complete dog shit to play. Like I cancel behind a survivor and they get all the way to like main building because of it. Like I think 2 seconds is like completely reasonable. Like the most I would be okay with is like 2.1. And anything more than that, the character feels really bad to play and actively punishes skill expression. Like I've seen a lot of people like, I hate how Kaneki just like lands behind me in a dead zone and I die.
But you're in a dead zone, you would still be dead.
That would still happen. Even with like a 3-second cancel cooldown, he's still going to kill you in a dead zone. He just can't, he literally can't do anything in a tile. It would be the change that just kills his identity as a character. Literally every other like nerf I'd be okay with. Like, okay, not literally any other nerf, but like grab attacks, add-ons, other than like coffee and satchel, things like the vaults. Like, I just want the vault gone. But if they just wanted to nerf it, like the biggest nerf would just be removing it. But if you have to like nerf that, even if they did like all of the negative changes, all of the anti-Gnork changes, I would still like play Kaneki sometimes because I just genuinely love the character so much. But like I think the cancel cooldown would be my line in the sand where like I just don't play him anymore. Like he would stop being my main. He would be too frustrating to play at that point.
All right, well, that's kind of all I have. You know, I want to say thank you for coming on and representing the ghoul. It's been cool. It's been ghoul, one might say. Now, if you want to give people your links and let people know where they can find you, you know, get more Gnork, get Mork, one might say. Anything you want to share? You know, time is yours. You know, go for it.
Yeah, I'm glad to have shared my insights on the character. Hopefully I showed a few people things that you can really do and explained why I think that should be the parts of the character that more people should appreciate. Yeah, I stream on Twitch whenever I can. Life is always in the way, but like I'm trying to make the content creation thing work. I'm always on Twitter. I love talking about game balance and game design. I'm always willing to have don't insult me and I'll have a conversation with you about pretty much anything.
I think that's reasonable.
I really appreciate being like at least right now, the voice of Kaneki, because like I know a lot of people just really, they share the same opinion as me, but like in the same way that like, you know, you say anything on stream, people are just like, no, you're wrong. It's just like you can't really say anything about the character without people assuming you're like biased or stupid. And I hope I really conveyed my arguments properly and showed people not all ghoul players hate survivors, guys. Only me. This has been Molded 7-Eleven hot dog. Stay molded. Stay away from 7-Eleven. They're mine.
Okay, man.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy.
And everyone out there, you know, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Go check out bnork on all the links on your screen. They'll also be in the description down below, you know, and yeah, I appreciate you guys a lot. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, morning, noon, evening, night, whatever it might be, wherever you might be, whenever it might be. And I hope to catch you in the next one. So I will see you later.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.